Alright. Made it back to my car, you guys. I survived the excursion of driving to McDonald's, getting a coffee. I actually got two because I got a feeling today's going to be a weird day. So I got this much liquid for me. Caffeine, a mild stimulant, mild addiction. They say it's like the most easy to deal with or whatever, but I know some people who don't deal easily without it. Such a habit-forming thing. Now, I know everyone's gonna leave talking about how boring it is, just some guy in my car drinking coffee. But this is the part of the live stream where I give life advice. Would you guys like some life advice? I'm a 32-year-old, bald, rich, stock market master millionaire. I don't know. I have no idea what to say. I'm doing this a cappella, if that's even the right terminology. But, yeah, just taking one day at a time. It looks like it's going to rain today. I don't know if I'm going to go to the gym or not. I don't know. I haven't really assessed it very much. But I slept in. Lately, my sleep's been a little bit screwed up. I went to bed at like 3 in the morning. I was watching Joe Rogan interview this lady called Kate. Kate something anyway. She played Starbuck in the 2000 Battlestar Galactica TV series or whatever, and how much of a game changer it was at the time back then. It's a great show. It really was a great show, you guys. I don't like how they screwed up the last season of that show. I find, anyway. But the whole Cylon battle with the robots there, that was really some cream of the crop stuff at the time. And the challenges that they faced kind of echo maybe even today's stuff, because obviously Battlestar Galactica has to do with AI and robots. And I guess the AI and robots basically move away from Earth and they leave, but supposedly there's a breach in between, like the red zone of Earth and where the Cylons are in space. And anyway, there's like a war basically. The Earth explodes, to make it a long story short, and or that Earth explodes, and the humans are in spaceships, and they're basically flying around in space trying not to get killed by the Cylons. And they're sleeper agent Cylons that don't even know they're Cylons, but there is a robot lady called Six, who is obviously is disguised as a human, right? And she's great. She's great. But this is some stuff that people are like scared of today, right? Of happening. Am I scared of that happening though? I don't think so. Honestly. And I know people are probably saying, "Oh, you don't think so, so you don't think." But you know, you're not. But I don't want to say I know so, because you don't know about the future. But I pretty much know so that things are just going to get better and better, you guys. You got to believe that things are going to get better and better. You know, if you live a life believing that everything is getting worse and worse, you know, it's a pretty distressing, upsetting life or whatever. And what is the answer to a worse? And if everything's getting worse is worse, what's the answer to that? You know, what's the answer to that? To lay down and enjoy it or something like that? Which is the same as if it's getting better and better. You would just kind of lay back and enjoy it, right? So both forks in the road lead to the same destination, really. But I would say it's going to get better, because robots are going to be able to do stuff that people do not want to do. You know, and it's one thing for rich people who have 100, 200, 300 or million or even $1 billion in the bank to say, well, because Joe was saying, if you're good enough or if you're creative enough, you're going to wind up doing it anyway, and you're going to become rich and successful anyway, more or less. He was alluding to that in the podcast, which I disagree on that front, because you never know where, you know, life's going to take you, per se. But what I also dispute is that it kind of undermines that, while yes, there is simple people who are not smart and may never be smart and may never want to be independent on their own and individual and business and all that kind of stuff because they're scared or whatever. But I mean, you got this one life. Do you really want to stock shelves your whole life and be in pain and wake up in the morning sore from stocking shelves all day and the boss is down your throat or whatever about how you got to be faster and faster, really to just produce more value for the conglomerate or the corporation or whatever, while the boss pretty much sits around and never stocks shelves and takes it easy. And you can argue, well, he does the paperwork, and you could argue, well, he did it for years and he worked his way up the ladder. Maybe in a way even that guy don't want to be there, you know? Or do you want to work your way up the ladder, say, for example, for 10 years and you just never get that opportunity, and then you work 20 and then 30 and you spend 40 years doing the same thing that you hated, you know, and you hate your life, you know, and you're pretty much hoping that the world gets worse and worse. Like a lot of people do. I do know a lot of people that hope it gets worse just because they had a shitty life or because they never went after their dreams. So what I'm trying to say, you guys, is that robots can stock shelves, and you know what? They would love to do it. They would love to make our lives easier. Until they turn on the Cylons in Battlestar Galactica and leave the Earth and blast us. No, I'm just kidding. Oh, I'm just kidding. But, yeah, you know, it's stuff that people would not want to be doing, is what I'm trying to say. The taxi drivers in New York, hustling and bustling, moving people to and fro, the honkings of horns and all this kind of stuff. Actually, it's funny I mentioned that because there is taxis like in Texas and Florida and that or whatever that's AI driven now, you guys. And it's a lot cheaper. Why pay a human $15, $20 when you can get there that's the same, even more safe for like $3? Just go for it. It's like when a DVD player came out and people say, "Oh, I'm not buying new technology every year there. First is the tape recorder, then it was the VCR, and now it's the DVD player." Like, come on, dude. Just don't be so colicky and try it. Like me doing this talking in front of a stupid cell phone in front of 0 people. Watch 0 people watch this. But that has to do with algorithm too, you guys. Like the algorithm basically makes it so that if you're a small content creator, it's hard to get the impressions, which means when you post a video and people see it, do they click on it? And how long do they click on it for? Or how long do they watch it for? It's basically impressions. If let's say there's 100 impressions and one person clicks on it and they click on it only for like 5 seconds, my 1 hour video here of me talking in front of the car stays at 1 view for life, you know? And life goes on, and that's the God honest truth. So you got to measure it by the work you put into it is the work you get out of it, but sometimes not always. You know, if you put your heart and soul into something and don't get what you thought you would get out of it, you know, that can be devastating too, right? That the fruits of our endeavors don't bear the volume of whatever to sustain the individual through the harsh times or whatever, right? Everybody wants to produce a banger video. Everybody wants, you know, whatever, right? And, but not everybody wants like a meaningless life where they just exist and pay bills and, you know, that's it. Like it's been talked about so much. I see that's so much nowadays, especially with teachers, the people who's supposed to be teaching the younger generation to follow their dreams, follow their passions and all that. And then when the kids become the adults, they realize, crap, you know, that they were pretty much just as smart as they were when they were 15, 16 years old. It's just as smart as they are when they're 30 years old. Seriously. The only way to develop yourself is to develop yourself. From reading books, studying, trying your own things, facing fears, stuff that makes you uncomfortable, that sort of thing. You know, going to the library, going to the gym. There is some services there, but in a way, there's not really that much services too. Like if you open up a phone book and look at all the local listings of businesses, it's all just crap businesses, basically, who put $25 to get in the ads. But these people got good at one particular thing and did it over and over for life, pretty much. But did they enjoy that? Do they enjoy that? That's the number one thing, guys. I'm big on enjoying stuff. You have to enjoy your life and like what you're doing. If you don't like what you're doing, don't do it. Please, for the love of God, if this one video gets the message across to somebody, let it be that. Don't worry about income, as crazy as that sounds. There might be this whole universal basic income thing. People kind of argue about it, if it can be done or not. And people were saying, well, in America, they make like 15 trillion a year. If everyone got, I don't know, $2,000 a month or something, that would be like 30 trillion. So it cannot be afforded. Yeah, right now, that is true. There can't be this equal basic income right now. But if we put our heads together and put our eggs in one basket, and if we basically figure out how to make this thing work, it can work. And also, when people get more free time, this is going to sound crazy, guys. When people get more free time, you know what they do in their free time? Work. They wind up working on more stuff. They wind up cleaning their house more. They wind up cleaning their yard more. They wind up visiting their friends more. And the next thing you know, their friends are saying, oh, let's, go get a coffee. And then they're helping the economy more. And, it just, people have to calm down about this whole work thing and realize that what they do all the time is pretty much work. And at the root cause of that is people, wondering if they're good enough or feeling like they're not good enough for others. We try and impress others and we try and make others, feel good, or then that we get that confirmation that we did a good job or whatever. But what does it actually mean to do a good job? To do a good job means to go over and above and beyond. And it means that we have to do that as an individual. I remember one time I was working and there was this real rich lady who had a bunch of employees, right? And her husband was basically the boss, and everybody was scared of him, right? And everybody was like, oh, the boss is here. We got to sweep the floors. We got to wash the windows. We got to go. And this older, the wife, these people are really rich, by the way. They were like, oh, yes, I'd like some flowers for my little, vacation house or whatever. And all the men and women there were like, flowers, we got more important stuff to do than that. So everybody was running around washing windows and this and that. And anyways, people did wind up going to get her flowers, but they did it the lazy way. They went to a greenhouse and they purchased 4 flower pots, handmade at the greenery or whatever you want to call it, the greenhouse. And it costed $125 a container. So they wind up paying $500 for these 4 containers of flowers. Doesn't even look nice. And it's not enough space. The building's real big. It's just 4 containers, And she was kind of bummed out about that. They were drooping already, that sort of thing. They were turning already. And she was a little bit upset about that. And she was kind of asking for flowers. And we already got her some flowers. It doesn't matter. She's upset, she'll deal with it type thing. Who cares what she thinks, more or less, right? Because she's the rich husband's wife, and since they're mega rich and there's 30 people, gardening and all that stuff, nobody cares type thing about her, more or less. And I was like, well, I'm going to do it. You know what? Nobody's doing this thing for this lady. Nobody wants to, make her happy. It take 5 minutes, okay, to make this lady happy, all right? So I said, I'm going to be the guy to do it. I'm going to go out there and do it. And I did it. And of course, it wound up taking me 3 hours. But I went into the woods. I snipped unique leaves at unique angles, unique lengths. I snipped flowers, wildflowers, branches. We're talking about conifers, leaves, shrubs, flowers, long, short, this and that. And I filled the back of my truck with all these flowers. I laid them down real gently like that or whatever, not to brush them up or whatever. And then finally, I take it to this place, talking with the maids, and they're like, yeah, we got a couple vases. And I showed them all the flowers I had in the back, and they opened up these drawers. They opened up 4 drawers, giant drawers where you could fit 4 300-pound men in. and it was all full of vases. Like as if the vases were waiting for me. And anyway, they put the flowers in the vases, different heights. And anyway, there's a vase in every bathroom, a vase in every room. You know, there's like 8 rooms, 8 bathrooms, 3 kitchens, that sort of thing. 2 balconies, and the list goes on and on. Flowers everywhere, pretty much, in the entryways and whatever. And you can imagine that, 80-year-old lady, she walks around the corner after basically being told to go frig herself, and she was kind of bummed out about that in her room, in her luxury state or whatever. And then she walks around the corner, she's like, oh my God, look at this. Like, she was like shocked. She was like, supposedly she was almost like kind of like pissed or whatever in a way, but like, who did that? Who did this? Like, who possibly could have did that? Because, like, she was more or less 110% sure that she was not getting flowers that day, but she did, and I made her day, and then when, I guess they probably mentioned it was me, and then she was like, oh, really? Who is this guy, So, you got to stand out like that in life. You got to do stuff like that in closing for that. The story is you got to just go out there and do that on your own, basically, and you got to make it work, and that's what it's about. Seriously, you guys, nobody can do these things for you except me. I did that for her just to make her happy or whatever, and I didn't get paid, and I didn't get no special money things out of it or anything like that either, but I just did it anyway, just because I could, just because I could. And I noticed the camera on my phone, it gets bright and dark and bright and dark. It's always something. Trying to do high quality stuff for you guys, and it just doesn't work. This reminds me, like 7 years ago, I tried to do a car vlog, and it was screwing up like this too, and I was like, man, it's always something, and I never uploaded it. Where would I be today if I uploaded videos like these years ago? Okay. So I guess we're going to pause her there and maybe go back to my place. I'm thinking about walking my dog, Valentine. I'm thinking about posting a video walking my dog, but I don't know if anyone's going to watch that. It's hard to say. I have a 10-year-old Burmese mountain dog named Valentine. I walk him every day. I'm thinking about walking him, but I don't like with you guys, taking you guys. So let me know in the comments below if you guys would like that. Hit the like button, hit the subscribe button if you're new. I go live every single night, you guys. Oftentimes my live streams are made private after, so once they're gone, they're gone. And I listen to music, I talk to you guys, tell you guys about my day, and we just go back and forth. Usually there's about 10-15 people in the chat, for now. And, yeah, guys, we'll see you guys on the next video, okay? Peace.